Regardless, I understand the need for proof of my capability, perhaps, and more so, perhaps, my true intentions. And I will go with you to aid in whatever task you might deem me where you might deem my aid to be necessary. I have been unable to find any people with even remotely your capabilities with whom I could work, who would also wish to support this goal.
In which case, Jasmine kind of puts her hands on the table and pushes herself up, just to stand up and goes towards the huge, wall with the map on it. We better get these. We better make the final preparations ready, shouldn't we, Aurelia?
We should, I suppose.
All right, kids. Where are we going?
Assuming we're going to follow the other, has anyone changed? Has anyone had a really radical thought of something different than last time everyone's discussed stuff?
I haven't really changed my mind, and in character, Aurelia has no fucking clue how to do large-scale, information gathering in the entire empire and supporting politicians and whatnot.
Not her skill set at all, no.
Nope.
Not even a little.
If only we had some sort of military noble person.
Yes, we do.
Appears at the map.
If only we had Thomas.
Oh, Thomas.
Thomas would also be a good addition.
As a bartender, he's often played fantasy warfare with his Friday night gaming group. Back of the tavern. They play D20 Modern.
As a member of the Imperial Guard, I sat down with my group every Friday and played riffs.
Yeah.
I clearly did that part as part of the Newport homicide investigation today.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, so are we still sending out the army then, Team PC to end the Galahedron menace?
I think that's a reasonable idea.
It will take some time to hunt down the damn things. Me just being what they are, having the temerity to think that any attempt to impose will go unchallenged, particularly in such a time as the current High Druid. That being said, it would take several weeks. Can't guarantee the exact time, but we would be the only ones capable of such. And with relative stability in the region right now, we should be able to go about our work uninterrupted, except for the grinder wounds mini quakes.
Coordinator, we trust your expertise on this.
Then I will mark Lord Anator as being assigned to the Bitter Meadow Caverns. Our fancy sheet.
Right there.
Do we have a calendar of sorts?
We do, yeah. We've had one forever, right?
On the world map/calendar.
Map/calendar.
Yes, since the very beginning of the game. There's
been
been
here all the time.
I was meaning to ask on this screen that we will use for these things, but I guess I can switch back and forth.
The only thing that I'll be noting is on the tactical map, the north, the current month and the year. It's the only thing, because not keeping track so much of individual days any longer.
Okay, months.
And if at any point you want to know, what's the calendar look like? I've linked the calendar multiple times, including whenever some kids needed to solve a puzzle involving the calendar.
Mm-hmm. That took us forever.
So sly.
Nice. I suppose continuing on from that, I guess our group needs a boat. I think we're going to Creel.
Well, as it turns out, you guys do still have a boat. How about that?
We also need a crew.
To go to Creel again.
Well, I mean,
I
worst.
came with a boat and crew.
I mean, like, worst case, like, you could have, like, some golems, like, row you guys to Krill, but you need more than that. You also need, like, the supplies to survive there for a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what with, you know, food being incredible, supply here... Oh, it's a sore topic.
Mm. Mm.
But you could always, like, hunt and eat what you catch on the island. But let me tell you how many animals there really aren't on the island right now.
Giant beetles.
You're going to be eating beetles that eat people's eyes.
Well, there are worse things to eat, but...
Well, we could just bring a bunch of fishing rods.
I must admit that fishing is not one of my one thing I have not done.
Fishing really also isn't a thing, what with all of the chaos beasts that have gone into the water and chased away sea life.
Sagging sharks.
Can we fish for chaos beasts?
You know you can do that too. Eat chaos beasts.
Purchase food.
Well, considering we're thinking in the time frame of months at this point, we could take the... I guess it might be like 2, maybe 3 weeks sailing to Santa Cora and then to Creel. Maybe there's more
There's
food
no
in
more
Santa
food
Cora.
in Santa Cora, though. Otherwise,
No.
they would just transport that to Newport.
Santa Cora, that like sailing there would only, at least ideally, take you like a few days. Remember all the way back in session 1 that if boats were available, you could have easily just gotten a boat between Santa Cora and Newport. It's a 4-day trip.
Well, there might still be more food in Santa Cora.
Hello?
Hello, Goger.
Oh, Goger.
Oh, hey.
Santa Cora also would also have more people in it. Now, granted, the fishing in Santa Cora is the best in the entire Dragon Empire, due to the confluence of all of, like, the magical energies from, like, the gods. That being said, however, the city is also teeming with pilgrims, from people who have come all over. Hello, Goger. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, my computer decided it didn't need internet at the moment, so... Yeah,
Yeah,
that was very good.
who arguably is one of the most important people to be here for the scene when Manaki showed up, wasn't here?
Sorry about that.
One of the most important people out of, like, the session of 4 people.
Mhm.
There's no need to apologize. Events that are beyond your control, though you should have strangled your ISP. It's okay. Everything transpired. I will go ahead and give you a summary because God is feeling most magnanimous. So the 3 of you are just hanging out playing tiddlywinks in the planning room, the private planning room, whenever someone at the front desk, a messenger from the front desk, noted that there was a wood elf who had come to see Geráck. So Geráck, walked with the other 2 over there, and it turns out there was a wood elf. And the wood elf brought a message, a sealed letter, a name that would be recognizable to Geráck as a former member of the Frost Range Companions. I'll go ahead and post the letter again. I had Dark read it. I was going to make you read it, but you weren't here, so I had Dark read it instead.
Alright.
Yep. Then, brought the wood elf back to, like, the quiet private planning room where they've been chatting about abilities and about, like, small histories and just fucking making small talk and shit. Basically things to consume, like, an hour of session time. And, and now they resolved that, and they're actually looking into what we're actually going to do first.
Alright, okay. So,
The mages, as it turns out, are still going to be sent to end the Gelahedron menace, and the players were contemplating the whole concept of spending a month on the island of Creel.
indeed. That's what we talked about last time, I think. So we're still going with the plan we...
Seems so, yeah.
Yeah, alright. Good.
We could rediscuss everything now, but that would just be...
Yeah, no. Let's.
I mean, we should move forward and see a reason to try and recalculate everything.
No, I'm good with the plan, as it was.
Okay. Minor concerns, basically just for, like, you can get transportation there just fine, it's really close by, and you do still have the ship. Food and water, you folks could finagle. Combination of eating food on the island and around the island, as well as some supplies that the Arcane College might give to you. There's just not a whole lot. I mean, the very city is rioting due to a lack of food.
Mm-hmm.
Then you might just have like 10,000 peasants like swim into the fucking like sea to try and get your ship.
Well, yeah. Everett Lavelle had a lot of food in his mansion.
Did.
Yeah, did. The guards fucking ate it. Bring some of that food.
That's where we're going, then. Go hurriedly swaddle up and head for Creel.
God, you know, we've seen plenty of boats so far, and only half of them have gone badly.
Alright. The group of Imperial mages, led by Lord Enator, heads out south towards the Bitter Meadow Caverns, as mentioned. Whereas the four of you, on this nice, lovely day in low summer, head to your vessel and make your final preparations for spending a significant length of time on the island of Creel. Because you've slain the living dungeon, some of you, there is no more creatures spawning there. However, you still have the local wildlife of, like, plants and animals, and goodbye, Goger.
What?
Oh, you disconnected from the MapTool server.
God damn it.
This is going well, isn't it?
Fuck you, internet!
The local wildlife that used to be there of, you know, animals has been replaced. And instead pretty much consists of Chaos Spawn, Warp Beast, which have, like, the beautiful effects like teleporting and confusing people, and Geráck, the eye-consuming beetles. We never really saw too much of the horrors from those Geráck, like what they could do when they could brandish their ovipositor and implant their eggs inside of you. Or actually take one of your eyes. Thankfully, we never came to see any of that. They did not succeed too much on their whole grabbing effects. But thankfully, you folks are champion tier people now, who can accomplish much and do great work, and as I've noted before, we've already seen a lot on the island of Creel. The days will pass by arduously as you take to scouring and exploring and clearing and hunting down these damn obnoxious creatures that can hop from far away into melee range and attack you, and then if they miss, hop back into far away range.
I'd like to have a bow, so far away doesn't mean anything.
Then, of course, as noted, the warp beasts and other chaos monsters and whatever else might have leaked out of the living dungeon. Few smoke devils, but nothing that's going to drain your recoveries, thankfully, or necessitate any skill rolls on your part. But it most assuredly does take, combined with your time there, in order for you to feel comfortable with having cleaned the island. This is a month-long excursion, giving you folks all the time in the world that you wish to chat with each other, or discuss, like, history or background, and you'll certainly have seen each other's capabilities, and what they're good at. Like, say, for example, you know, Aurelia's character is a monk, Geráck's character is a paladin, Jasmine's character is primarily an archer, a bowyer, fighter ranger, and then Maniki's character, the wood elf, is a cleric commander.
Mm-hmm.
My guess was right then.
I thought so as well.
But eventually and thankfully, the long nights of you eating Geráck flesh and like fishing in the sea for chaos beasts, or the odd Sahagwin who's decided that it's going to eat you instead, and you pull a trick on it. Ah!
Little did you know.
Yes, little did you know. The month passes into flock time. It is still low summer, and you can consider this mission to have been a success. You can award yourself 1 political power.
Yay.
I will go ahead and remove that mission from the island of Creo. The army of Imperial mages that you sent was the minimum requirement. However, as it turns out, the Imperial mages, this is kind of their thing, and Lord Inator does have extensive experience with dealing with Gelahedrons. As a result, they succeed in ending the Gelahedron menace within 1 month. They're actually back in Newport before you are, without any trouble, and consequently, you may earn 2 positive dice, spread between the Emperor and the High Druid however you wish.
We're gonna take both with the Emperor, right?
That was the plan, I think.
Yeah. In order to get more troops in access when we actually get there.
Okay. I will go ahead and remove that mission from the Bitter Meadow Caverns. The Gelahedron menace that ended the horrid spawning of Gelahedrons is now no more. The Archmage's forces, the Imperial mages, have put peace to it. I see, as I was pulling out the dice token, someone had taken to adding the dice in the dice pool for me. Fantastic. I love it. Good work with your initiative.
Initiative.
Now this one is a player.
No, I'll fix that. I'm fixing that.
As you do return to Newport before you begin your next bit of planning, however, there is something that does crop up, and I'm going to summarize it by having, let's say Goger, let's say you, because you did manage to escape reading that entire letter aloud. A new mission does appear on the board, and I would like for you to read the first objective aloud, Goger. That's not reading aloud.
Yeah, right. The Frost Giant Warlord is on a pillaging spree as he makes his way south, and you could have stopped him.
Minimum requirements are to stand before unreasonable NPCs who will undoubtedly wag their fingers at your ineptitude. And your reward.
Yeah.
Yes, the Frostfist army has eaten and pillaged and razed villages on its way south from Proudfort. They've certainly left it, but they're also leaving carnage and destruction in their wake.
Yeah.
They've skirted outside this major Imperial town here. We are going to name that Kavanaugh. I just literally invented that name in my head. I'm awesome. And, yeah. So they're not showing any interest in attacking, like, say, like a major fortified settlement. They're doing all the easy pickings. And they are causing terror. And also some disruption. Folks who are still trying to get things across to, say, the seawall by land they basically don't really have anywhere to resupply. Because the Frostfist army of bugbears and, goblins and trolls and half-orcs and gnolls and ogres and a few giants have eaten their way down.
Right.
I'll let them. Whatever.
Liking the third objective, though.
Yeah, that seems nice. I don't know.
You would also get, I could guarantee you'll get a few negative dice as a reward as well.
Yeah.
Send the Frostfist to, go hunt ghouls in Axis.
Yeah, that's not gonna end well.
We just sail him to the Fangs and leave.
Well, we can't really do anything about that ourselves, I don't think. We're not powerful enough.
I mean, alternatively, you could try and isolate and eliminate.
I don't know who the Frost is, but seems like a bad person.
Well, Aurelia, for one, is very happy that Geráck is being wise for a change and not going like, yes, we need to fight them right now. I will fight them alone, in fact. I am an army. I have 2 armies.
There are thousands of refugees, of course, from the town of Springford that was west of Proud Fort, but also all the way down the line that have been thermally displaced, and they are flocking westward, exerting a great deal of pressure on already established villages and towns. The food supply has already diminished, and the extra burden of having the fields ransacked, and the livestock ransacked, and the town larders ransacked, and the granaries ransacked, has destabilized the region, which was already destabilized. But if they continue their southward trek, they'll eventually get out of the region.
Exactly. It's a problem that will eventually fix itself. We should not concern ourselves with that.
Not fix itself, but it's one we really can't deal with right now. Although I certainly would want to do that.
How?
That's the problem. I don't know.
Yes.
More support in order to do that, I feel.
In order for you to reasonably meet the Frostfist army on the battlefield, you would need at least 2 armies. And, that's the minimum requirement. Alternatively, you could try a stealth sort of affair where you try and catch the Frost Giants alone.
Yeah.
Relatively alone.
So if we had an additional dice with Emperor right now, we could get 1 more army, but we don't.
In axes.
Yeah.
Well, you could get the Imperial garrison that's out of Newport. You could resolve the riot leaders, or you can try and resolve the food shortage. If you do that, then you could take your Imperial garrison and your Imperial mages and hope that, that would satisfy the minimum requirements.
Each back on the menu, boys. There's a barbarians down there. All of us.
Yeah. I mean, the garrison is probably gonna die then, but...
I mean, the thing is, it's minimum requirement, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not optimal.
No. God damn it. We just go hunt the Grindworm instead. Get the Emperor dice that way.
Oh no. That's like...
I'm not familiar with the term grinder worm.
You do not want to be.
It's a huge purple worm that lives in the Underdark and eats things.
It causes earthquakes. That's how big it is.
That too.
Seem like a terrible amount of danger to put ourselves in to curry the favor of imperial officials.
Indeed so.
It does seem like you essentially have to be part of a circus to curry the favor of politicians. A rather violent circus, that is.
That effectively is part of what Axis is.
No, I didn't say the court has similar practices. Once you become part of the many, you lose interest.
Well, what did we originally have planned to do next?
You folks were going to head to Santa Cora next.
I mean, let the Frostfist do his thing. The damage has been done, and we have seen that he is quite the foe.
Indeed so.
It's continuing to be done.
We can't defeat him with our current strength. We just can't.
Surely, however, the Empire does not solely put such a responsibility on our shoulders.
Not solely, but
No.
I think we are the only one capable of dealing with such a thing in this region.
There are certainly, I mean, you can certainly count on other adventurers taking a crack at it. They just have the same problem. It's an entire army, and, adventurer, champion tier adventurers just like stand there scratching their heads. How the fuck do we get them isolated?
Yeah. We need to trap him some way. Where's Tempus?
This would not be as much of a problem to deal with, say, 20 years ago.
All we need is a time machine.
Then again, frost giants don't come this close to the Midland Sea. Certainly not from the south.
The frost fist is a symptom, and dealing with the symptoms when we could be dealing with the cause is pointless work.
It would help a lot of people, though.
I suspect that the further you move south, the less people there will be. So the primary damage has already been done.
I'm not sure I understand. I did think you said that we were incapable of dealing with such an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no point
Not
thinking
be-
about it in the first place.
Preferable to deal with issues we are capable of dealing with. That would help more people than us getting ourselves killed, trying to do something that is beyond us.
Indeed. Just... I don't like leaving people out in the cold like this.
It wounds me as well.
We will go and get more assistance, and then once that is done, we might be able to deal with it. Then we just have to see if he remains here in the north, or if he just travels far to the south. Then he's, too far out to reach.
I had hoped that the Imperial branch of, people hunting the servants of the Three would have more support than I found us to have in my own homeland. But it seems...
We are...
That's a
The
lot of
Empire's-
fucking snooty shit from, the people who have command of a fucking group of Imperial mages. You've factually proven that asshole elf incorrect.
We have an army.
We do have an army, and the Empire has a lot of problems to deal with.
We just need a bigger army.
Which we intend to get. So, should we head out?
So, what exactly we were going to do? What is Santa Cora with the mages?
Yeah, the first objective there.
Are the mages done yet?
Yeah,
They
came
finished
back.
before you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, good. They've had time. They've had a quick rest.
Shall be interesting to visit the Wild Wood then.
Yes, the group sets out, heading from Newport, traveling west, moving such a complicated and intricate group through to Santa Cora would, of course, necessitate basically going by foot.
Yeah.
Which would, it's a little uncomfortable. It's a few days, to the outskirts of
Yes.
the Wildwood. Ah, I knew you guys would come back.
Oh, fuck off!
I-
No, we
Sheep.
skip it.
No, sheep.
What?
Sheep. The same thing is this time. Why? When we reach the town, we have an army behind us.
What is this Foghaven you speak of?
I have never been to such a place myself.
Yes, none of you have been.
I have the
Alright.
strange urge to
And then
leave
Tempus pops
immediately.
out.
Yes. Your group does attract quite a bit of attention, but caravans that are coming through certainly give you folks the respect that you have earned, basically through your strength of numbers, as you travel along the road, able to resupply at the that's a rather alright town by the name of Foghaven. It's an agricultural based thing. Also has a lumber economy right on the edge. It's the last resupply point for the Imperium between Santa Cora and Newport, effectively. And you're able to keep on traveling through. The Wildwood is treacherous to travel through. The road is often broken. basically a resistance effort by the Wildwood itself, as the Archmage has attempted to impose his law upon the region. However, the Archmages just aren't as good as the Wizard King was whenever he built the Imperial highways further off to the west. That being said, you don't get into any combat encounters. Any bandits that might attempt to waylay you, or druids that might want to pick a fight, are very easily deterred by the numbers that you possess. A few dozen of you, 40, 50. The mages don't number that large, but they are certainly rather capable, and you experience no trouble. Any problems that come up? Oh, there's a log in the way. Oh, we just fucking throw acid at it. Log falls apart. We continue. Oh, there's like a small bridge over a stream that's gone. Just fucking put it back together. We'll keep on going about our way. The supply train is not that vast for such a group, and no one dares to accost you. Eventually, after a week and a half of travel time, you do end up exiting the Wildwood, thankfully. Because just because you don't encounter any people who want to fight you, doesn't mean it's a great place to be. And the mages are certainly uncomfortable traveling through there too. It's like the Wildwood knows. The Wildwood knows. And it's only a day later that you reach the outskirts of Santa Cora, the city of temples and the city of spirit. Now, Santa Cora has always been the spiritual center of the Empire. After the priestess built her cathedral earlier in this age, though, it could be considered the spiritual center of the world. For those of you unfamiliar characters would certainly know this, the priestess popped up this age. It's the first age the priestess has ever appeared. And folks, particularly in Horizon, are unsure what this might mean for the age the priestess now exists. From across the Empire and beyond, spiritual seekers wend their ways to the city. Some report being changed to the soul by merely laying eyes at the cathedral. Pilgrims and converts of all descriptions press onto Santa Cora's streets, sometimes even including repentant monsters, like Aurelia. Many of these visitors are looking for something more practical than spiritual elevation. They may hope for miraculous healing, divine omens, or the lifting of a curse. Renegades, fugitives, outlaws, and people who have crossed the wrong crime lords come here to seek sanctuary in the cathedral, or in a major temple. Finally, Santa Cora attracts those who seek the gods for knowledge, favor, or power. Santa Cora, like Dragonhall, is plagued with bizarre architecture due to the etheric flow of so much divine energy here. Still, it gleams beautifully, a luscious jewel along the coast of the Midland Sea. Indeed, fishing is better here than anywhere else in the Empire. Thanks, gods. You can imagine that due to the amount of attraction of pilgrims here, there is a lot of snake oil salesmen, folks who are charlatans, who devote their lives to selling fake charms. The pilgrims who come here, so many throngs of them, so numerous and easily deceivable by visions and by items which are inherently false in nature. It is that festering in mind that makes the Ettercaps so dangerous here. There are two entities the priestess and really the upper echelon of the cathedral here despises severely. There's the ghouls, that of course love to feed on people, and those are becoming a problem as well. Santa Cora is also suffering from an overpopulation issue due to food shortages, but indeed it is Ettercaps as well, for they prowl in the gutters and sewers, and they look for anyone who could possibly tempt it into darkness. Ettercaps, Ettercap Thanes, they organize temples underground, and of course they organize temples out in the wilderness too. And they cultivate people who would devote the rest of their lives to the pursuit of something that they end up believing is greater than themselves. In this particular case, your group you as individuals, may have encountered Ettercaps in the past. The Ettercap does have affiliations with a few icons in particular. The Ettercaps have a working relationship with the Crusader. The Dwarf King has a very malignant attitude towards Ettercaps. He is the lord of the underworld, of course, and he chases these foul beings from his territory as much as possible. He doesn't much appreciate them in other territories either, and he likes it when his agents set a Vayne to fire or crush it beneath a landslide of stone. Not every Dwarven Duke shares his attitude, however, and on occasion, one Dwarven Duke does send an envoy to the Ettercaps. As for the Elf Queen, it's an open secret that worship of she who spins in darkness, which is the goddess of Ettercaps, occurs amongst the Dark Elves. Not all, but enough that a purge would substantially weaken the Queen's position. I've already expressed to you the Priestess's attitude regarding Ettercaps. The only other icon that comes into play is the Prince of Shadows, and because Ettercaps, more than anyone else, infringe upon his territory. The Ettercaps are keepers of secrets. They are whisperers in the dark. They gather in the fanes and temples that they build. They drape those temples in spider motif, and instead of prayers and offerings, they bring her that which she truly desires: secrets. Whispering a secret to the altar is the most holy act an Ettercap can perform. Their fanes are filled with silence, like the ocean is filled with water. It is this situation that you individuals, along with the assistance from the Imperial Mages, have come to relieve here. There is, you are not the first to attempt to delve into the sewers beneath Santa Cora. Adventurers have come before you. Just recently, one adventuring group, companion group of 5 individuals, managed to delve down into the sewers on their own and survive through the ghouls and locate one of the more prominent fanes beneath the city. This knowledge, however, came at a cost. One of their numbers had been captured. And although sacrificing isn't really a big thing in Ettercap fanes, they might do it anyway. Besides, Ettercaps and spiders gotta eat, you know? In addition to the reward that's being offered for destroying the Ettercaps fanes beneath Santa Cora, you, as characters, will be offered an extra 200 gold pieces each from this adventuring group if you manage to find and return their missing companion unharmed.